Any message from Shane Finkel yet?
Not yet, no. I'll just check. Yes. Congratulations. That was it. My pal. Oh, and as he said, this thing where it all goes with confetti everywhere as well. Didn't know. Showing my age, didn't know that. Yeah.
He's older than you.
What?
He's older than you.
Just, I've got a funny story about Shelley Finkel. We was at this JD Sports after hours. I told you the story, didn't I? And people were queuing up to just, it was like a Q&A for photos and stuff like that. And this guy came up to me, short fella, with glasses on. I guess he was like in his 50s. And he came up to me and he said, "Do you know who my hero is?" And I'm thinking like Anthony Joshua, Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard. I went, "No, who?" He said, "Shelley Finkel." And I thought it was a wind-up. And he went, "He's my absolute idol." And I went, "All right, mate, have a nice night." And off we went. It was a bit random. I actually get on very well with Shelley now. And look, they want the fight. Of course, it's a huge money fight. They think they can win the fight. And you know, they'll be pushing skills challenge as well to try and get it done from there.
What's the whole debate of that fight?
Nothing really. I mean, it's a huge amount of money. And they want to get the timing right. You know, there was talks of December 26. Obviously, a lot of the talks was about this double header, which has obviously lost pace now. So Joshua Wilder would headline it. And I guess Usyk against Hrgovic could also feature on the card as well now, subject to the Dubois fight. So no real delay, just I think they wanted to get tonight out of the way. I mean, they weren't over the moon when we chose Dillian White, but talks kind of stopped about a month ago, 3 weeks ago, because they wanted them to resume after August 12th.
A huge knockout for AJ tonight. How much did he need it for his confidence if he does go into this battle?
Yeah, I think it's always good to finish a fight like that. You know, I think if it would have gone to points, there would have been criticism. I'm sure there'll still be some criticism as well. But I think when you have a finish like that, it's good for the mojo. And I think obviously, seeing the numbers already virally, that's what you want as a promoter, as a broadcaster, as a fighter, for his profile, for his confidence. Great to win a fight like that, and it was a devastating knockout.
Do you think for his age he relies on his corner a lot more than he probably should for a boost of his confidence?
I always want him to believe in himself, you know, as much as he can, and maybe sometimes he doubts himself a little bit. I think maybe that can come with worrying about criticism too much, and actually, you know, he doesn't read criticism from necessarily the fans, but he reads it from his peers, I think, and the industry. Probably won't admit that, but and I think he wants to prove it. He wants, I think, whether he admits it or not, I think that's important to him, to be respected in boxing as a guy who fought everybody and was a very good fighter. So I think sometimes he doubts himself a little bit too much. And I said to him in the change room tonight, and I hear everything about camp, especially from sparring partners and the trainers of sparring partners. And for the Franklin camp, the response was good, but this camp was different. He was hurting sparring partners. He looked fantastic in training camp, and everyone was excited. The change of opponent derailed maybe the performance a little bit, but you know, he should have confidence because he's a tremendous heavyweight. And he's, you know, I felt like saying in the change room tonight, you're almost like a veteran. He's been through so much. I mean, you think, you know, he boxed Vladimir Klitschko at Wembley, even before that, Dillian White here in a tear-up for the British title, Klitschko at Wembley, unification at Millennium Stadium, Povetkin at Wembley, got stopped by Ruiz at Madison Square Garden, had to go to Saudi Arabia to rematch him and win. You know, came back, fought Usyk twice, won it in top. I mean, he's done it all, so he should believe in the experience that he's gained.
Do you not think he listens to the crowd a bit too much?
No, I don't think so. No, I think he's needed that voice in the corner, the one voice that he believes in, and I think he believes in Derek James in it. And you know, I think Derek said to me after the fight, I was just saying to him, you know, just keep backing him up and look to find that right hand. I think Josh said, just struggling to find the right hand. He said, just keep throwing it, it will come. And obviously, it did.
And last one from me, do you think he should have checked on HELENIUS straight after rather than go off and do?
Yeah, I did. You know, when he went out the ring, I looked over at him, and you know, we sort of crossed eyes about that, and then I went to check on HELENIUS, and he was fine. He was trying to get his oxygen off. He wanted to get up, but he got. I think there's a little bit of frustration, and again, I just think you're damned if if you do and you show sometimes too much compassion. You've lost it. There's no bad boy in you, and and you behave like that. And it's like, oh, you didn't show enough compassion. Honestly, I wouldn't worry about it now. Just do whatever feels right at the time, because the criticism is going to be there whatever way. So I think he was a bit frustrated that maybe the fight was as slow as it was, and it was a bit of relief, and he knew Hearn was okay.
I want to get word on what happened when Conor went to the ring. It seemed there was a bit of problems between his own security and your security.
To the ring?
To the ringside, yeah.
I'm not sure. I know that earlier on in the night I saw some sort of nothing major, but just, I think obviously when you travel in big numbers, and our security is doing a job to make sure that certain people get ringside, but I don't believe it was anything of any note, but haven't heard anything from the team, but obviously we'll have a debrief tomorrow.
Eddie, at the end of the fight, Joshua said he's carrying the heavyweight division on his back. And that was a bit tongue in cheek, but do you think he actually feels that way and he has to have that extra pressure on him?
I think he feels like he probably not necessarily has more to prove than everyone, but everyone's looking at him to do something spectacular. I mean, when you look at the heavyweight division right now, Usyk is an outstanding fighter. Is he overly entertaining in the ring? He's a genius, but Tyson Fury, his last fight was against Derek Chisora, and he's now fighting a guy from MMA who's never had a boxing match before. So he's not really doing a lot for the heavyweight division, is he? Deontay Wilder hasn't boxed for 18 months. Andy Ruiz hasn't boxed for a year. So, I mean, that's the first time I've actually thought about it like that. So, Josh is active. He's had 2 heavyweight fights in the space of, 4 months? And he wants to fight Deontay Wilder. So, I think this is a good run for AJ. I mean, it's definitely the most active we've ever seen.